Welcome. Today we're going to be discussing the technique obscure wing, its execution, some of the things that can go wrong with its execution, and a couple of tips on how to fix them. So this is for a left hand grabbing your right shoulder from the right rear flank, also known as 430 if you're using the clock principle. So let's talk about rule number one, establishing a base. So the first thing that can go wrong here is the direction on where we're stepping and the timing on how we're stepping. So what I mean by that is I have it grabbed. First thing I want to do if someone grabs me is counter grab, right? So if I do the grab before I step and then I start to step, it already alerted him to the fact that I'm doing something, he might hit me with the other hand. If I try to do the opposite of that and step before I get my pin, he could let go with his hand and I potentially run into that problem. So that's the first thing with the timing. So I want to make sure my step and the pin are done simultaneously. We'll talk about the elbow in a second. So now let's talk about the direction. I don't want to step straight to the side because even though this gives me the proper alignment, I no longer have depth penetration. Remember, we're using short range weapons, right? So I want to make sure I'm close enough to be able to hit him effectively. And I don't want to step straight back because that puts me out of alignment. So my elbow is no longer in line. I don't have a compact unit. Remember, when we're using elbows and knees, you always want to make sure you have a compact unit. So now let's talk about which way you do want to go, which would be diagonally backwards. So I want to step diagonally backwards to line everything up and be able to get the depth penetration that I want. So another problem that happens here is I then try to add rotation to enhance the power, but again that puts my shoulder out of alignment and I'm actually losing power by rotating instead of staying square facing you guys. So now let's talk about the elbow. There's a couple of things that can go wrong with the elbow itself. So I step and I cock my hand before I deliver the elbow, which gives him a chance to see it and start blocking it. I'm not using the zone of obscurity. So what I want to do here is go straight from where I am, point of origin, and then drop. And we want to hit down at a 45. That's the next thing that can go wrong, is I can deliver this elbow upward, I can do it backwards, or I can do it downward, diagonally. And that's the one we want to use because we want to emphasize the gravitational marriage. So as I step, I get my hit and everything drops. So the next thing that can go wrong here is the hammer fist, where you bounce. So if you notice now my elbow is out of alignment for the next strike. So from here you just want to make sure you drop it but leave it in place. And then we're just going to contour the body to lift the elbow up, use the gravitational opposition. Remember, this matches the beginning hits down, this hits up. So from here, a problem that can go wrong is we start doing this in a circle. You don't need to do that. Remember, zone of obscurity, we're just contouring the body. It's going to come straight up. So let's do a quick walkthrough. Remember timing. I want to step, hit, and drop all at once. We're stepping back at diagonally, not to the side, not back. I'm not trying to add any extra rotation. Compact unit with my elbow, and we're hitting downward. Hammer fist, leave the hand there, and then up with the obscure elbow, and then you could cover out if you choose. So one more time, a little bit quicker. We hope this video helps you. Thank you very much.